All right, so let's start a discussion with understanding what a bar chord is. A bar chord is really a combination of open chords and a capo, only the capo is going to be done with your first finger, okay? You've got a built-in human capo right here that we're going to be using to play different things across the guitar. So the first thing we're going to learn about is taking the E major chord right here, and we want to learn to move that chord anywhere we want to go up the guitar like this, but we want to take the nut with us as we go, and of course we can't do that, so the first finger is going to act like the nut or the capo. So if you take your first finger, or excuse me, if you take the E chord like this, and instead of playing E like this, we're going to play E with these three fingers instead. And the reason is because we need this first finger free for our example. So notice how I can still play E and it still sounds just fine. It just might feel a little awkward, but there's my E chord. Okay, so what happens here is if I take this entire chord and move it up one fret and strum, of course, we already learned that you're going to get some unusual sounds because some of the strings are moving up and some of the strings are not. But if we take that first finger now and bar, press on all 6 strings across here. And in order to do this, I want you to be aware that my arm needs to come down a little bit, my shoulder needs to come down a little bit, and my wrist needs to come underneath so I can form a fairly straight line with that first finger. Now, when I play this bar, again, my guitar neck is out a little bit. It's a little bit easier for me to reach. I'm not playing way back here or something like that. And these do take a little bit of time for many people. They certainly did for me. So as you start learning how to do this, don't get too frustrated right away. Just follow what I'm doing, and then you can work on what they are and how they work. So E moved up 1 fret and barred. Now all the pitches are now 1 note higher, okay? 1 fret higher. We call that a half step. Everything is moved up a half step. So the E chord, which this note is E, and you can see that from your chart, if I move everybody up, this note now is F. This is the bona fide real deal way of playing an F chord on the guitar. Now, if you remember when we were learning open chords, we learned how to play this down here. Remember that? Where we were pressing on these 2 strings at the same time? Well, this is really just the bottom half of this. You see that? Remember how I told you this wasn't really an open chord because you weren't using any open strings? Well, the reason is because this was just the easier bottom half of this. Now, what makes this so powerful is you've taken the chord E and all of the elements that are the E major chord, and you've moved them up a half step, okay? And now it's become an F major chord. E major has become F major. And this is how we play F major on the guitar. But watch this. If I move up again, now we've got F sharp. This is an F sharp chord. So when we're learning the notes on the 6th string, we've got E, we've got F, because there's no E sharp, right? So E, F, and then F sharp, and then G, and then G sharp, and then A, and then A sharp, and then B, and here we go. There's no B sharp, so we go directly to C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then E all over again. So we started on E, we ended on E. That's an octave. That's why this has 2 dots. It's telling you you've gone an octave. So from here on down would be another octave of the same notes. 0 and 12 are both E's, they're octaves. F, F, 1 and 13 are both octaves. Okay, now again, we're not going to worry about playing up here right now. We're focused on chords that are happening down here. You don't really play chords way up here on the guitar anyway, but that's how this whole system works.